Previously.
1, 2, 3.
X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show.
Sorry I'm late. I was fighting a caped badass. Then I discovered his mom is named Martha, too.
Hello, people whose parents are possibly named Martha. This is X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show.
I thought this was an anal bleaching party.
Oh my god.
Well, you know, anything's possible here tonight. So, you know, it starts off a review, it ends how it ends.
That's gotten to the party stage now?
Yeah, well, you know, yeah. Yeah, it is.
I'm missing out.
Yeah,
you know, when it comes to anal bleaching, you don't want to give a bad first impression. So it's important.
You know,
Jesus Christ.
It's high society, Andre.
I guess so. All right.
I am one of your hosts.
What a dick.
You know what? Takes one to know one, buddy.
Pumpkin fucker.
Fuck you, Deadpool. One of your hosts, Scoutmaster Davin. And with me, as always, is my co-host.
I want to fill my soul. I want to belong to something.
Negus Andre, Teenage Warhead.
I get a dope Ender quote.
You do. And we have a guest with us tonight.
Captain Delicious Pants.
Captain Delicious Pants.
Yeah.
No, wait, it's Hanif. He's a trainee, but, you know, we're glad to have him anyway.
Trainee.
A trainee.
Oh, I didn't turn my light on.
Oh man.
I'm all glowing in the lightness of my computer screen.
Hey, Andre.
Yo.
Do you know what they call a cranberry grapefruit vodka? By any chance?
I know it's called the Sea Breeze. Don't make me ask. Don't make me say it. I know it's a simple line, but it might be my favorite line in the whole movie. When he's like, "Can I get a vodka cranberry, vodka cran with grapefruit?" I know it's called the Sea Breeze. Don't make me ask for it. Don't make me say it. Yeah, it's so funny. Like the first line, it's like one of the first lines of the movie, but man, it made me laugh.
A lot of things made me laugh in this one. Of
This
all
movie
these
is
movies,
It's
I didn't
great.
remember it properly. Like, I didn't remember it even being as good as the first one, but I think it's actually
Oh, it's
better
equally
than the
as good,
first
if not better than the
It's
first one.
better. I was laughing the whole I watched this at, like, it was probably, like, after midnight, so I should have been on, like, a zombie, and I was laughing the entire time.
I watched it this morning while I was working, and I was laughing just the whole time. So
It's very funny. Like, when he's just,
I
like,
love
trying to
this stuff.
deflect all the bullets with his swords, and they're all just hitting him anyway. It's just like...
the baby legs thing, which is kind of a throwback to the baby hand, but it's still really funny. And like when she comes in and she's like, and she's like, they'll grow back. She's like, no, I'm talking about your face, because she hadn't seen his face before.
What was that, Andre? I'm having trouble hearing you.
It's a little hard to hear you with that pity dick in your mouth.
Oh, that's why. Okay, never
See,
mind. Never mind.
I love Blind Al. His wife.
Oh, Blind Al's good.
He's like, you got a pity dick in your mouth.
Althea. Yeah, she's great.
Well, they're all
How's it
pointing
going,
back-
everybody? What about you, Hanif? Did this movie live up to your remembrances?
Yeah, it was. It's still very enjoyable. I'm gonna be the black sheep and say that I think
All right.
I still hold the first one a little bit higher than the second one, but the second one is still great. I enjoyed it a lot.
I don't know.
But it's just the little things that irked me a little bit about it. But
We'll get into that. That's good. So it was just a little. That's how I remembered it. But like going back and watching them, the first one came off as a bit more just kind of basic origin story,
yeah,
to me. And this one just had me laughing the whole time. And
And it had
good
an
characters.
important message. You know,
Yes, it was a more
Yeah.
serious movie than the first one. I
Yeah,
felt
like,
like it
in a
had
way.
more stakes. Like I feel like you can easily make everything in a Deadpool movie not matter, and that's my concern about actually Deadpool 3. I'm like, it's gonna be so much thrown at you. I worry that there could be a lack of heart, but we'll see.
I
I will
think
say the acting on Deadpool 2 was way better than the first.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
You get some new characters. You know, Zazie
Get some
Beetz
new
is always
characters.
fun.
Jazzy
And also
Beetz,
even the parts in the beginning when he was like going through like the whole stages of grief after Vanessa died, like you could see like he actually put his all into that role.
Oh yeah, they also started Davin with yet another flashback, which you love. So
At least he got it out of the way. But
I wonder if they're gonna do it in the third one. I bet you they probably will. It seems to be a motif of these movies. So
yeah, but that was actually sad, the whole Vanessa thing. So
yeah,
there was some heart. And he starts off, he's just like, "Fuck you, Wolverine, killing yourself in the movie. Now I gotta up the stakes." He's like,
that was literally the first 3 lines in his in that movie was "fuck you."
Yeah, fuck you,
what a way
Wolverine.
to start.
And he has the little it's like a ballerina thing with him stuck on the tree.
Yeah.
That he winds up and pushes the tree limb down and then it starts spinning. It's pretty great.
It is pretty great. And I would go so far as to say this movie is the best X-Men movie so far.
It's up there. It's up there.
Like, no, I just mean as far as like being an X-Men movie.
Yeah. A lot of fun.
Like it's fun. It's got a lot of characters. It's got.
But I love I
Colossus is embodying like the spirit of the X-Men in it and stuff like that. And it's got Juggernaut.
I find it funny, Davin, because like sometimes it seems like you get really upset when like a certain character is not really used. Like if they just call a character that could be a throwaway character, an established character. Black Tom is that in this. Black Tom is that in this. And I was like, Davin's
well, Black Tom they just picked because for that joke. They pick characters just for jokes all the time.
But, I mean,
that's why they picked Negasonic.
Yeah,
or like Shatterstar.
Yeah.
Also, see, here's the thing. I like the fact that they just picked all these characters that they would never be used otherwise. They're like Bedlam's a nothing character, like Vanisher. Like, so if you're gonna pick these characters just to kill them, or like make them crap characters like they were, like whatever. Like who cares?
Yeah, no, totally. But, I'm down for that.
Like it had been like Boom Boom and like Cannonball and Warpath and like X-Force characters you actually care about, it wouldn't have worked. It would have been like, whoa, why did you just throw away those characters? But yeah, it's good stuff. Juggernaut's so good. The best Juggernaut we've ever gotten, for sure.
Yes.
We've only had 2, so
that's true.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
I mean, Juggernaut and X-Men TAS.
And it wasn't really hard to top Vinnie Jones's performance in 3.
No, it wasn't.
It sure wasn't.
He has a funny line though. He's just like, so you have to wear this helmet so your brother doesn't control your mind. He's just like, yeah, but he's in a wheelchair, so it's like, it's kind of even. Yeah, even Steven. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Yeah,
it's pretty great.
I liked it. Yeah, let's get into it. Why don't we just get into it?
Let's get it on.
Yeah. So, Deadpool 2.
Just want
Here
me
we
to
go.
Yeah. All right.
Get into her.
I thought you had some kind of a thing you play. Don't you have a thing you play or something?
No, not at the start of your recaps.
Oh, well.
It's the only thing that doesn't have a sound effect.
And why not, sir? I don't deserve a musical interlude?
Exactly.
Ouch. This is hurtful.
I can't hear you with all that pity dick.
No, fuck off. Pity
It's
dick.
a little hard to hear you with that pity dick in your mouth.
Oh, yeah. Well, who's the one who's always like, hey, can we push it ahead 15 minutes? Can we push it ahead 30 minutes? Can we push it ahead I got kid stuff. I got family stuff. I'm busy with my life.
Yeah, well,
That's pretty dickish to me, sir.
Look, you can like plan for the fact that having kids is going to make things take longer than you expect, and you plan for that, and then it still takes longer. Like they do it on purpose. You can't plan anything on time. They will make it take longer. It's just kids.
But what about the rest of us that didn't have kids but still have to deal with the blowback of your choice to have kids? Sir, what about us? We deserve some recognition. We didn't ask for this, but we still have to deal with it.
Single people don't matter. When's the last time you heard a politician talk about single people? Nobody cares. Well, have a family. Become a person.
There's an awful lot of them. Oh, don't you start with me, sir. You're going to lose that argument real fast.
I feel like I'm a male.
Picture me, a 10-year-old Kirsten Dunst.
Just picture me, a 10-year-old.
Dick tip and make it rain.
Oh my God.
8 billion people on the planet heading towards 9 real fast, and you want more people to have kids?
Just you, Andre.
Uh-huh.
We need more Andres in the world. You
No,
see, I'm
man.
actually sweet. You think I'm a dick, but I'm actually super. I'm all heart, buddy.
Like all breeders, you're just justifying your choice to have children. So,
Breeders is a slur, sir.
not to me, it ain't. Actually, that's probably the first time. That's probably the first time in my life I've ever used it in a sentence. So,
Breeders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that. What's the term that they use in X-Men? The slur for humans.
flat skins. Flat skins.
Yeah, flats. It's like that. Yeah, exactly. And it literally describes literally anyone you talk to, it's parents and grandparents. So it's just like you couldn't like dig at anybody any worse. It's just like, hey, your grandparents are stupid breeders. It's like, I love my grandmother. It's just like, yeah, well, she had kids and then they had you.
Yeah. No, it's all. I mean, it's all a mess. Just do it. Helps you get through the night.
Actually, we could have started at regular time, but we wouldn't have had those sweet sound effects for the intro.
Oh, well,
and
that's
it was
good.
worth it. It was worth it.
I mean, the story in this is not crazy complex, but it's good.
No.
And all the jokes and stuff like really help advance the story. Like it's really a great movie.
There's like 2 stories, and none of them have anything to do with Deadpool. There's Cable's story, and there's the kids'
Well,
story.
Deadpool's story is mostly the kid's story. The kids, I wouldn't say the kid's a massive story. It's Deadpool's story is through the kid.
Deadpool is trying to find like a new purpose.
Well,
after losing
Redemption,
Vanessa.
yeah.
Yeah, I just mean it's the kid's story because it's like not only him trying to help
Also,
this kid, but it's about exposing that like orphanage or whatever it is.
The entire
That's
storyline for this movie is kind of a combination of Spider-Verse 2, or Spider-Verse and Looper. So much so, like, do you ever see the movie Looper, the Ryan Johnson movie?
Yeah, I saw Looper.
It's almost exact.
Ew.
Minus the, like, if it was Deadpool teaming up with an older version of himself, it would be basically Looper instead of Cable. And if it was and the Spider-Verse thing, the whole storyline is like him not sure he could be a parent and then discovering he can after hanging out with the kid for a while. Deadpool doesn't really go through the same journey, but if you kind of combine the two, it sort of works out that way. But anyway, we get Wade.
But better than Looper.
I like that movie. I wouldn't say I love that movie. It's okay. Ryan Johnson is a very talented filmmaker. I don't think that is his best movie. But I do hold the Last Jedi in a lot higher regard than most people do. And
oh God!
Yes, you see what I have to deal with here, Hanif, on this show?
you hardcore Star Wars fans, and I consider I'm one of them, have got a lot to learn about the real world and also about what you want. Because all you want is, like, they made the first Star Wars movie, you all complained it's the same as the last one, or as A New Hope. So they made a second one that was widely different. You all complained it was too different. You didn't like it. They did the third one where they tried to do a mishmash of all of it and make everybody happy. It was a complicated mess. So
y'all, I wasn't even born.
You. No, I'm talking about everybody that hated The Last Jedi. It's like they tried to do something different. And you guys shat all over it. It was fun. It was different. It was unique. It was, I don't know, it set up stuff that would have been cool. But everyone bitched so much they tried to retcon in the next movie and ruin that one. So.
And that was X-Ranted Star Wars edition.
That's right.
Star Wars!
So you see Wade.
All I gotta say about Star Wars is in this movie, it's cool to, like, what does he say? He's just like, to have consensual sex with your sister or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's Star Wars.
I'm pretty sure they banged, and he's like, they definitely did.
Yeah. She's like, no, that's Empire.
Yeah, maybe an Empire.
Yeah.
But we see Deadpool. He winds up a little toy of Logan being dead. In a mess. He's kind of smoking a cigarette. We discover he's laying on top of a barrel full of gasoline, and he throws turns the gas onto the stove, then lays on a bunch of barrels of gasoline, and then flicks the cigarette up in the air so it lands in the gasoline tank, and blows up, blowing him into pieces. His head and his arm and body parts go everywhere. And then we get
fuck Wolverine.
Yes. He also made a nod. If I'm going to stop for every joke, this will take all night. But there are a lot of really, really good ones in this. But he does. We get a flashback as to how we got to this point, which is him going worldwide as an assassin, killing monsters, mafia people. Oh, it's a weird hum that's coming over the thing.
Yeah, don't worry about that. That's just the dryer.
I was going to say, is your dryer going off? That's what it sounded like, and then I was like, is that a super long dryer buzzer? Because that's longer than one I've ever heard before.
There's basically a laundromat behind me.
It sounded like hair clippers. That's
yeah.
I was like, who's getting their hair cut?
Not us.
I'll get that dealt with.
Not
the
you
other one
either.
used to do that too.
Hey.
Yay! There's only one person here with hair that can be getting a buzz cut.
I just got a haircut. You didn't say anything. I'm kind of.
I noticed. I thought
Oh,
you
I
were
didn't.
gonna put
Oh,
it
wow.
Beard trim too.
Normally
Beard
have
trim
it up
too.
in. Normally have it up in your thing. It's not quite so down. That's cool. That's good. You look like a proper soccer mom now.
Hey,
I'm joking. It looks good. Your hair probably grows.
My
fast.
3-year-old's really good at soccer.
Oh, good. Awesome.
Better
You have a
than me.
minivan too?
Nope, just my work
All right.
truck.
Well, it works too. All right. So then we see him fucking up a bunch of human traffickers in Japan. And then we kind of get a mishmash of him in these great little action sequences where he's killing all these mafia bosses and guys from Japan and other criminals variously until he came across a Russian kind of group in which he manages to kill everyone except the head guy that gets away before a bunch of people try to save him.
Kalishnikov.
Yes, like the rifle.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, actually, isn't it Kalishnikov? It's the rifle, I think.
Maybe.
But anyway, so the guy gets into a panic room, so Deadpool doesn't get a chance to kill him before his horde shows up to defend him. So
It's like, can you come out?
Yeah. He's like,
Panic
come
room.
on, a panic room. So we see him running. He dives through the window in the back of the cab, driven by Dopinder, who we remember from the first movie. Dopinder, while they're traveling away, Dopinder reveals that he wants to become a contract assassin.
Remember that time I kidnapped my cousin Bantu and threatened him with great violence? He's like, you killed him.
You killed him. Yeah, he was in the back of the car when he got in the accident in the first movie.
You just hear him go, ah! They never really showed him die, but it didn't look good.
Yeah, but then he talks about how he makes a reference to what he wants out of life, like Kirsten Dunst's character from Interview with the Vampire, the original movie, and how
so
when she was trying to do vampire and then was given blood for the first time, but she wanted nothing but more.
I want more.
I want more. And she's like, and he's like, do you remember Interview with the Vampire? And he's like, I try not to. Yeah.
He's like, you are my Tom Cruise.
And if you ever want to watch an even more disappointing movie, watch Queen of the Damned, the sequel to that movie. Oof.
Wow.
Well, I give it some grace because it was the last role that we saw Aaliyah in, and she passed.
She was great in it, but the rest of the movie was no bueno.
So I have to give it some grace because Aaliyah was like one of my favorite singers growing up, and
on Letterboxd I gave it 2 stars, and I said that it's a beautiful dumpster fire. Like the soundtrack, the soundtrack is really good if you were like a kid of the time period I was, with all that like new metal, like Korn and Disturbed and all those bands, which I liked when I was a teenager, and visually it was a beautiful looking film. But Stuart Townsend isn't the greatest actor in the world, and the rest of the cast, the guy that played Louis was good, but the rest of the cast was like not super. Not Louis.
And it's funny because I look at Aaliyah, I'm like, you gave up the Matrix for this?
Is she supposed to be in the Matrix?
He was supposed to be Jada Pinkett's character.
Oh, that's.
Yeah, I think the schedule conflict got mixed up, and then they called Jada in. So,
I love that Deadpool is a contract assassin, probably making decent money, yet he still lives in a shitty apartment. Like, it's a pretty shitty apartment.
Well, as a contract assassin, you don't want to be flashy about it. Like,
fair enough.
If they know where you
but you
are,
think you gotta,
and they find him anyway.
You could maybe pick a place that's like has a better security system or something. Yeah. So he goes.
He just
home.
doesn't care because he can't be killed. He just doesn't give a shit.
Well, he also has people in his life that can be, as we're about to find out.
He didn't think about that.
Well, he
but
should have.
I mean, who would pick like a
should've.
shitty apartment in like what was it, downtown Canada or Vancouver?
Yeah.
Is that where they were?
I don't know if they're
Well,
supposed
they
to.
filmed it. They film it in Vancouver.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, like where the actual apartment in the story is supposed to be.
I think it's New York. It's New York City. I just.
Yeah, I think
New
it's-
York. Okay.
Yeah, because
they don't
the
put-
bar that they were in before is still nearby and all that stuff. It's the same apartment he's in the first movie.
Okay.
But anyway, so he makes up some fun. He has some fun banter with Vanessa about why he's late. But there's some differently abled children stuck in a tree or something, and then she cuts him off. And then
There's also rather easy access to guns, so it doesn't really look like Canada for that.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah,
you go to that bar, there's a lot of guns.
That's true.
That would be hard to pull off up here.
Well,
you're right. I'm the non-Canadian in this group, so
that's right. You're pretty far. You're in Florida, are you? You're pretty far from Canada. You're like
their gun laws are very different up there. Somebody could walk into Burger King with a gun on them.
But Jesus, man, after the next election, I hope you have an exit strategy, because Florida's going to be one of those hard states that's going to get a lot of hits when shit starts turning real red.
Jesus. What was it? Was it a Dave Chappelle joke where he starts driving in the wrong neighborhood? He's just like liquor store, gun shop, liquor store, gun shop, gun shop, liquor store, gun shop. He's like, I knew it was trouble.
Was that 10?
They sell guns in the liquor store.
No, there you go.
Even better. You can get all your vices at once.
Wait for 2025. It might happen.
So we see they give each other gifts for their anniversary. He gives her a skee ball token.
First date.
On the first date, she gives him her IUD.
100% pure lead.
Implying that she's taking the IUD out so that the baby making factory's open for business. We see them kind of obviously celebrate that. And then they're watching Yentl later, which is the Streisand movie, which is really funny. Papa, can you hear me? And he makes a reference to that song Sounds Familiar, which gets called back later, which is pretty funny. And it actually is incredibly accurate.
Facts.
At least we've still got Streisand.
Oh yeah, he says you've still got Bowie, and then they're like, we'll get to that later. So basically, they have a lovely moment where they talk about playing in their family, and they're arguing about what the name of the kids are going to be. He wants to demand a name like Cher,
but then Andre or Todd.
I mean, I do have a last name, but then he has a great fight sequence where some people bust in with a shotgun. She dies behind the couch. He manages to fight them all off using all the knives in his kitchen block. But then doesn't realize that Sergey, is it Sergio or Sergey? I think his first name was Sergey, the guy that was the Russian guy that got away.
Velishnikov. We'll just
What's his last name, I believe.
Yeah.
I'll go with Sergey. It's easier to say. And I just read a Spider-Man comic with Graven the Hunter in it. So,
it was Sergey.
It was Sergey.
Sergey or Sergey?
Sergey, isn't how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Sergey.
Yeah,
Sergey.
Sergey, the Russian way. So, anyway, he comes in and he goes to throw the knife to stop him. It makes him move the gun slightly, and he shoots Vanessa. Deadpool obviously runs to try to get to her, but she dies before he can get her any help. He chases down Sergey in the street, manages to go face to face with him, pull him out of the car, and then he hugs him, and then the two of them walk in front of a truck.
It's sad, man. It's very sad.
Because he wants to kill himself. He doesn't want to live without her.
Yeah.
So he kills Sergey.
He really plays the emotion up really well, Ryan.
Yeah, that was a gangster. That was a very gangster.
Yeah, he was when he was angry and upset after she died. Like, it was very good stuff.
And when he's sad and grieving.
Yeah, that's what I was
talking.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about when I said he definitely upped the acting on this role, because that whole sequence was
Reynolds is one of those actors, much like others I've referenced before, like Will Ferrell and Melissa McCarthy, that are like play a lot of goofy roles, but every once in a while they do something serious, and it's always very good. When they do, they're very good. I mean, comedy is like anything; it's playing with emotions, and if you turn that the other way, it can do some powerful acting, and they really do in this. Then we get basically a James Bond style intro.
I was gonna say that when you brought that up. I was like, this is very James Bondy.
Oh, and by the real villains, because they just killed Morena Baccarin, and they're like,
it's directed by
someone
one of the
who
guys,
doesn't like to share the spotlight.
It's just directed by one of the guys that killed the dog in John Wick, which is funny.
Is that true?
But I don't think so. Maybe.
And
maybe, because this is directed by a different person, right? It wasn't Tim Miller. Was it Sean Levy? Did Sean Levy direct this one too?
I thought it was
No, it wasn't the guy who did one.
It wasn't the guy who did one.
They had a big fallout.
David Leitch. David Leitch.
Oh, yes, that is one of the guys that. Yeah, he's a famous. He just did that movie.
He's a famous stunt coordinator. He's done a lot of stuff. Actually, my first introduction to him was that old Sammo Hung TV show from the '90s, Martial Law.
Oh yes.
Oh, I remember that show.
He did a lot of fight choreography. He was a
stuntman for many years. He recently got into directing. He did that movie The Fall Guy, which is pretty big this year.
Oh, he also did. Wasn't he a part of John Wick recently?
He did the Nobody movie, the one with Bill.
Oh, Nobody. That's what it was. Yes, I love that movie.
He did Atomic Blonde. I think he did Hobbs and Shaw. Yeah. He also worked on Bullet Train. I think was something he directed.
Train, yeah, Bullet Train, John Wick, Atomic Blonde, Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw, Fall Guy.
Fall Guy was a good movie. It was fun.
Yeah,
well, that makes sense because I was going to say all the action and fight scenes in this movie are really fun.
Yeah, very good,
very interesting. You can't really take your eyes off them, whereas most action scenes or fight scenes kind of bore me really quickly. This one, very interesting.
So the big the song in that is by Celine Dion, written for this movie, which is
really she wrote it for this movie.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And by the way, happy belated Canada Day.
Thank you, sir. Happy belated Independence Day.
I don't care about that. No.
Well, the alien. It was the day you guys fought back the alien invasion, and Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith saved the world. We got to celebrate it every year. It's very important. Otherwise, you'd be under those weird aliens' rule.
True. One of my favorite South Park gags ever is about American independence, though, where it's just where the redcoats are coming to take it back, because to them the American Revolution never ended, and they're like, Your Majesty, we will end the American Revolution. She's just like, full sail. Oh man,
pretty good. So then the big intro dissolves into Wade. We see him. He's at the bar with no name. Is it the bar with no name? Is that this place supposed to be?
No. The bar with no name is that magical one.
No, the bar with no name is the one where all the villains hang out in Spider-Man.
Oh, I'm thinking of the bar with no doors. Yeah.
Yes. So it could be, but it's where all the mercenaries hang out anyway.
Yeah.
He's pretty broken up. He's crying. He's looking.
Is this the one that Scourge went and walked into and killed all the bad guys?
That's the bar with no name, but whether this is it or not, I don't know. That's where all the villains hang out after hours. Yeah. So you see him. He's holding the coin. He's crying.
It's hold on. It's the Sister Margaret's School for Wayward Children, or is that something else?
What in this?
Yeah,
is that what they call the bar? Sister Margaret's School for Wayward Children?
Yeah, I just googled it and it was it's called recognized as Sister Margaret's School for Wayward Children.
That's amazing.
That's hilarious.
That's hilarious. That's a great name for a bar.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So Deadpool is
good grab.
Deadpool is commenting to Weasel, the bartender who we remember from the first movie, played by T.J. Miller, who will not be in the third movie. He had him falling out with
everyone.
Everybody. He's kind of known for being hard to get along with.
Being a second predator.
Which is kind of funny because, Ryan Reynolds seems like the most easy guy to get along with. So, how basically, anyway. So
we don't know Hollywood. People might seem like they're nice, and then behind the scenes they're like Ellen DeGeneres or whatever.
You shut your mouth.
He's Canadian.
He's Canadian, sir. That's why he's got.
All Canadian celebrities are delightful. Martin Short.
Ryan Gosling, he seems like a very lovely man. Jim Carrey, also a very lovely person.
Oh, he's from Canada?
He's Canadian.
Yes, of course. Yes. One of our finest.
Yes, one of our finest. Brian Adams.
All good comedians are from Canada. You didn't know?
Oh, wow.
There are a lot of celebrity Canadians that most people don't know are Canadians. Justin Bieber.
Eugene Levy.
Eugene Levy. Yeah. Well, everybody knows he's Canadian.
Your people's Drake.
Yes, he is one of ours.
I've never heard a Drake song.
Michael J. Fox, Dan
Consider
Aykroyd.
yourself lucky.
William Shatner's Canadian.
Oh, William Shatner.
Christopher Plummer, Seth Rogen, Mike Myers, John Candy, Keanu Reeves.
90%.
Oh, John Candy. I miss John Candy regularly.
Kiefer Sutherland, Michael Cera, Nathan Fillion's Canadian. We got all the good ones.
Yeah, all the good ones.
Nathan Fillion. Yeah.
Josh.
In Edmonton, where he's from, what is that thing they named? This community pavilion, the Nathan Fillion Community Pavilion or something.
Oh, no, yeah.
It was the Nathan Fillion Civilian Pavilion.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they named some.
Anna Paquin's Canadian. Can you get Rogue herself?
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that one.
There you go. Tommy Chong.
Why does she always play a Southern person in everything?
She's good at the accent, I guess. I don't know.
No, she's not. I just assumed it had to be real.
I said I don't know. It wasn't my choice. It was a guess.
And I guess since we're on topic, basically 90% of the X-Men animated series.
Most of them,
true.
Pretty much.
Except for George Booza, but he moved here. So he's Canadian now.
A lot of the newer ones aren't,
He was
but
acclimated.
the original ones were. Speaking of which, I hung out with Lenore Zan the other day.
You and Lenore were hanging out. What were you guys doing?
She asked me to come. She asked me to come help her read for some auditions, self-tape auditions. So I read opposite her.
Very, very nice.
Were you as nervous as a long-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs?
Not really. I mean, it was fun though.
She'll put you at ease.
She was.
She seems like a sweetheart. Like
she's
that's the
very
one
sweet,
person I'm like, I would
Very
love
sweet.
to meet her. Actually,
She gave me a lot of.
I think she was in Sarasota recently. It's like 2 hours south of me.
She mentioned she's doing a lot of conventions. Anyways, back to the movie. So this is where Wade mentions that did you ever notice that do you want to build a snowman from Frozen? It sounds almost exactly like Papa Can You Hear Me from Yentl, which is true. Very true. I never thought about it before, but I was like, Papa Can You Hear Me?
Yeah, you're singing it the whole day. You're like, oh gosh.
Yeah, I know. And then
the guy in the bar, he was like the acronym for fine. He's like, I don't know, he's like, fine.
He was just a nameless grunt in the bar that started a fight last time, and this time he comes over and tries to give him an acronym to help him get through.
Can't remember his line,
but he fucks up part of it, and then Deadpool says,
"The Dunning-Gruber effect or whatever."
Deadpool says, "No more speaking lines for you, Bob." So putting him back, and he looks disappointed. We also see Dopinder now works at the bar. He's a janitor.
Well, no, he's training to be a contract killer.
That's true. When he's starting with a janitor, and it seems like Weasel's giving him all these like things that are eventually gonna teach him. He's like, in order to handle, you can't handle a gun until you learn how to handle a mop. He's like, how are those two things even remotely?
He's like, okay, even though they seem very unrelated to me.
He's like, they both have handles.
You know what fine stands for? Wade, fucked up, insecure, needy, and emotional.
Yeah.
His name is Buck.
Buck. That's
Buck.
Right.
Yeah.
So we see Wade sneak back into Blind Al's apartment to get, and in the first movie he made a joke that there was a bunch of cocaine hidden somewhere in the apartment, with the cure for blindness. And this one you see him dig up a floorboard,
and there was
a little package in there marked the cure for blindness beside bags of cocaine. So
which funny enough is the cure for blindness.
Cocaine.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we see one thing I find funny about this is like part of Deadpool's whole thing and the way he's drawn in the comic is that he's like horrifyingly deformed, like just like one like pulsating scab all the time. He doesn't look that, he's still kind of handsome, like
he's still more handsome than all of us because he's still Ryan Reynolds.
The most handsome looking cancer person I've ever met.
Yeah, so, it would have been funnier if they made him more deformed, I think.
Al mentions that
kicking out or something, but that CGI budget was probably like out of this world.
He scares Al.
All on Colossus and Juggernaut.
He scares Al, and then they have a conversation about his loss. She heard about it, and she tells him that death is what helps us. Or no, pain is what helps us learn. And that
no, she says we have to die a little bit to start living.
Yeah, I wasn't finished. Pain. She mentioned part of the speech at the beginning was that pain is a teacher. We have to go through pain to help us learn. We don't feel like we learn things through pain, and also like dying a little bit is what helps you become alive. So he takes the cocaine, puts it under his mask, and then punches it so it explodes everywhere. Which that was really funny. And then we catch up to where he was at. Basically, he blows himself up trying to kill himself. He sees Vanessa in the afterlife, it would seem, or some kind of
he keeps doing that. Like, what's going on there?
Yeah, well, she's like waiting for him in the afterlife, and he's trying to get to her, but there's a membrane between them that he can't pass through because he's not ready to move on yet.
Andy has a healing factor.
When I first saw this movie, I honestly thought they were going to tease that Vanessa was going to be deaf.
That would have been interesting. But it would have been
supposed to be copycat.
It would have came way out of left field. But then we cut back to the real world. We see all the wreckage from the explosion, which I hope they had no neighbors, because like that explosion would have just blown up his own apartment. Would have probably killed everyone in the building. We see Colossus come in and start collecting all of his body parts that are left in the room. He drags him back to the mansion and wants him to become an X-Man and help him through his grief.
I love how he put him in a duffel bag.
Yeah, he just dragged him. Like he could have picked it up, but he just dragged it along the ground.
That's funny.
So we see Negasonic Teenage Warhead, who returns with her girlfriend Yukio.
Hi, Wade.
Hi, Yukio. And he's always very cute. He's like, hi, Yukio.
It's like his last one. He's like, Bye, Yukio.
Yeah, when he's dying. Yeah. He makes some more jokes about how there's never any more X-Men around in the mansion, only the 2 that they can seem to afford. And there's a funny little gag where you see the entire cast of. I think they filmed this while they were filming Dark Phoenix, so you see the entire cast from Dark Phoenix in another room, and they just like behind him, and then you see them just slowly close the door so he doesn't notice they're all there.
Yeah, Cyclops.
But he stays there for a while, so it's like they had to keep avoiding him.
And he's bombing around, he's bombing around like Professor X's wheelchair too. And But Klaus has a good line. He says, like, I'm your friend, and friends don't just show up for the easy times; they show up for the hard ones too. That's what makes them real friends. So
Klaus
he's there to help.
Is the best.
He's the best. This version of Klaus is pretty great, actually. I got to say.
Yeah, it's perfect.
So then we cut to the someone in the future. We see Cable, who's looking at a bombed out building in a dystopian kind of future.
It kind of had the same. It had the same color scheme as like the intro of Days of Future Past, all the purple and stuff.
It's cool. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
He's looking at two charred corpses in the ground. He picks up a teddy bear, and then he messes with the dial on his wrist and gets flung back through time.
Very sad.
And then we cut back to Wade pretending to try to use Cerebro to predict what Colossus is saying. But he's just cutting off Colossus saying what he's starting to say, so he's not actually reading the future at all. But then they're called on a mission about a kid from a school that houses mutants that isn't Xavier School. It's the Essex School, so I'm assuming it's Nathaniel Essex Institute or Essex Institute. So a kid that's causing trouble, so they go off. Wade is in his costume, but he's wearing a trainee shirt with a big yellow X. It's a yellow shirt.
It looks like a jersey.
Kind of like a jersey, yeah. So they get there, and this kid is freaking out, and he goes
Fire Fist.
Yes, he's a New Zealand kid. Are you going to have me recommend?
I'm from the Wilder People.
Okay, I was going to say, if you're going to have me recommend a movie later, that was the one I was going to recommend.
It's a great movie. You should recommend it anyway.
It's a Taika Waititi movie. It's about it's a fantastic movie, actually, with Sam Neill and this young boy when he was younger than this, in which they become kind of they're an older married couple that adopt a boy, a foster boy that they decide to adopt. The wife really loves him, and his relation with her, but then she dies, and then it's the kind of gruff husband stuck with this kid that he didn't really have any kind of connection to, and then they kind of, through a series of events, connect and become a makeshift family. And it's a very sweet, very good. Well, they're on the run from the law, which is played out of the movie, but it's a super good and very good movie. Sam Neill's super good in it too.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, they go off and they get in a fight. Wade manages to subdue the kid, but then the kid says, "Please send me to the icebox," which is where the criminals go, because I don't want to go back to the school. And then Wade realizes that they're torturing this kid or something bad's happening to him. So he made some jokes about the headmaster, which I think Davin's named after. He called him Scoutmaster or something.
No, Scoutmaster. He called the guy who
the actual
flashed
headmaster?
him during the fight scene.
Right.
He just sees the guy's dick, so he's just like Scoutmaster Kevin because he recognizes it.
Yeah, which I forgot about. That's right. So there's a guy.
This movie's so funny. The jokes are so good.
There's like the headmaster that they see that runs the school off to the side with like an orderly guy that's also there that Wade interacts with, and he makes some jokes about how creepy this guy looks. He does kind of look like Steve Buscemi. They
made like a shit ton of pedophile jokes or
jokes. Oh, tons. And even when later on when he's he even runs like a fucking child, but the guy's running. He's like so good. I mean, this movie. So Wade realizes that this kid is being hurt, right? So then he opens up and shoots the orderly guy that
with very little information. He asks the kid, he's just like, "Which one hurts you, this one or this one?" He's like, "Both." Okay. He tries to shoot them both instantly.
He misses the headmaster, but he shoots the orderly right in the head. And then Klaus attacks him because he's killing what seemingly are innocent bystanders. And he says, "I tried, Wade, but I can't help you anymore," basically. And then Wade and the kid are sent to the icebox, in which they put collars on them that turn off their powers, which is bad for Wade because that means his cancer will continue to kill him if his healing factor isn't active.
I completely forgot about that for a split second. I was like, why is he all sick and stuff? I was like, oh, right, the healing factor.
Yeah. Although the cancer seems to be going real fast. He's only it's like a day and he's already falling apart.
It's been sitting in his body for like a while.
Yeah, he's got cancer of like the everything. Like that's why he has like boils and stuff everywhere.
But it's not growing, right? So
what did they say in the first one?
Well, it is.
His healing factor's ahead of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, the kid idolized him, wants to be his friend, but he is being distant from the kid because he just wants to die. Basically, at this point, he's so wrapped up in his grief. Then they meet the kid. The kid snuck in a pen as a shiv, which he hides in his prison pocket, which is his butt. And then they're having dinner and they meet a bunch of the inmates. Black Tom Cassidy, being one of them. Also a friend of my
You killed Black Tom, you racist.
That's way later, but
I know, it's so funny.
A friend of mine, well, I guess an associate of mine who's been in my other show, Robert Maillet, is one of the criminals as well. Sluggo.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't even notice Robert Maillet.
That was Rob. He was the big guy.
Oh crap! Yeah, that's cool.
I didn't know if you were going to save this for the end. I think there was like a deleted scene or Easter egg that Omega Red was in the prison.
Yeah, that was, but never got used.
Yeah,
you can find the pictures of him online. He looks pretty cool, actually.
He's got a big giant Omega sign on it.
Yeah,
but his skin is like regular tone.
I think he's kind of white. I think he's pale.
Like
I don't think he's
person.
I don't think he's like crazy.
Like Andre Pale.
Like Andre Pale. I can't control the skin tone I was given.
Blame the ginger beard.
Yeah, well, that's part of it. I blame my Irish DNA, apparently. So, the kid's trying to, the kid thinks that he has to make a name for himself by beating up the biggest guy he can find, and Sluggo just punches him every time he tries to get up to him. Deadpool tries to kind of stop all this violence, but half-heartedly because he really doesn't care. And then he gets a pen through the hand and gets beat up by them. We see the kid trying to, him give the kid advice, say, find a friend in here, even befriend Black Tom.
What's his name other than Fire Fist?
They say it. Russell.
Oh, Russell.
Because it's on his thing when he goes to prison. It's because he says find a friend, even befriend Black Tom if you want. Just and they make a joke about how he didn't look African American to him, but that's his name. He was obviously Irish, like he has an Irish accent and everything, but he's like.
They just flip through character profiles and they find ones they can make jokes out of. So they got 100%. To this Black Tom character and saw that he was Scottish and we're like, oh, all right, this is going in the movie.
Yeah. So anyway, then the prison is attacked by Cable, who we see him earlier when he gets to the present. Oh, when he first gets to the present, we see him meet a couple hillbillies and steal their car, which I skipped when I were going through this. Did you recognize those hillbillies?
No.
You really did? Really?
Oh, wait, wasn't Matt Damon one of them?
The one talking was Matt Damon.
Really?
Yes.
The other one was Alan Tudyk from.
Oh, really? Alan Tudyk?
Firefly, Serenity.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Alan Tudyk's great. I didn't pay enough attention to that scene, apparently.
Is it Tudyk or Tudyk?
I don't know. I always say Tudyk because I never heard it said.
It's Tudyk. Trust me. I'm 100% certain.
No, I believe you. So
I'm a names guy. It's all good.
I've never heard anybody say it before, so I've never known. I've only ever read it. So
I just know him as the guy from Firefly.
Yeah, well, he's on the Resident Alien show, which is pretty popular.
I am a leaf on the wind.
Is he actually?
No, I don't think so.
That Resident Alien show he's in is actually really good.
I watched it, but I kind of after a while I couldn't hold my interest as much. But I like him; he's good. He's really good. He does a lot of voice work. He's like the chicken in Moana. He was the bad guy in Wreck-It Ralph, the first one. He's the chicken in Moana, the chicken that only makes chicken sounds. That's right. They
hired Alan Tudyk to make chicken sounds.
He was the robot KS whatever in Rogue One. He was the
voice of Iago in the Aladdin live action.
Oh,
was he? That makes sense.
Yeah.
He
Gilbert
Gottfried, which was weird.
Most people don't know that he's been doing that motion capture voice work for a very long time. He was the innocent robot in I, Robot, the Will Smith movie. That's how far back he goes. So
I think he was in the original cast of Rent.
Oh, possibly. He's very talented. Anyway, but a little before we saw Cable in a hotel room assembling a gun from many guns. So using blueprints that come out of his cybernetic eye. We also see the extent of his metal arm goes down to his chest down here.
My one issue with Cable, they actually hang a lantern on in this movie, so I guess that makes it a little bit better, maybe. But he's just not very imposing. He's like, if I walked up to
they say he's a lot shorter than
Cable, I would be looking down at him slightly.
They even make a joke about it. They say he's much shorter than he's much shorter. He's only like an unimpressive 5'11" or something. Yeah. I'm taller than Cable.
He's
Me too.
He's like 6'8" in the comics.
That's huge.
That can't be. He can't be that tall. That's huge.
No. Go to Marvel Database. He's like 2 inches taller than Bishop, who's like 6'6".
Oh yeah, he is.
He's mad.
Cable like towers over everybody in the comics.
And his dad Cyclops is like 6'3". So imagine your big ass futuristic older than you son.
Gray hair.
But anyway, Cable blows up the prison trying to get to Russell. He's trying to kill Russell, and Deadpool gets in between them. During the and there's a big elaborate fight throughout this where he's trying to defend Russell. Cable asks him what Russell is to him, and he says he's nothing to me. Russell hears that, and it hurts him. But during the fight, they fall off a balcony, and Deadpool gets his collar gets shot during the fight, and they fall off, and he breaks like his back in half the opposite way, where he falls on the edge of the. It's like really gross looking. But the collar falls off from that thing, and he manages to start healing again and get back to it. But he does have a continuing fight with Cable, a really long fight. Their fight sequence in the prison is like
he wrapped his arm like double jointed around his neck in the back. I was like,
yeah, it's pretty great. But during the fight, Cable takes Deadpool's token because it falls out of his skee ball token. I actually really like this version of Cable. I think Josh Brolin did a really good job. I'm not saying whatever.
It was fine. He's just not very imposing. But it's
yeah. His performance was great. The physical look was a little.
They make a lot of jokes about his fanny. He calls it his tactical bag, but then they call it a fanny pack because it's like he has a strap around.
It's definitely a fanny pack.
Yeah,
just a big fanny pack.
Yeah. But they have a pretty elaborate little fight sequence, which is pretty great.
All these fights are really good.
David Leitch is no joke.
No.
Deadpool manages to pull the pin on his grenade that's not attached to his body, and he uses his shield. There's been an explosion that blows at the side, and they both go out the side of the compound, which is called the Icebox because it's in the Arctic, I guess.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
I was going to ask, because I don't remember the Icebox as a prison in Marvel. I wonder if they create. Is it?
No, it is. Yeah.
Okay, because I was like, I'm familiar with like the cube, the raft.
They have the cube, the raft,
the big house,
the Icebox, and then there's one I think they call the Airy or something. It's like a helicarrier.
It's in space, yeah.
Yeah,
in space, but it's in the sky.
In Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes, they had like the big 4 prisons, and they all like malfunction, and all the 72 villains break out. It's like
in Spider-Man 1, they have the game. They have the big escape on the raft you have to fight, and there's also the raft pops up a lot, and it's the one that's in like the harbor in New York, which is funny. They would keep it so close to everybody, like if something happens, a raid in Ted City.
Which it does happen in like the new Avengers book.
In New York.
Yeah. Well, you're a fool to live in New York in the Marvel universe. So.
Well, do like Reed Richards and put your prison in another dimension.
Yeah, the PIM or like during Civil War where they had the PIM one.
It's in the negative zone, wasn't it?
Yeah, Prison 42. That they introduced that in like Civil War.
Yeah, it's where they said the heroes that didn't sign up that they cut. So all right, so during the big explosion, and he has a fun little joke about how every movie has that moment where things turn around for the lead character, where they and it's like from Cool Runnings, it was when the bobsled like broke, and from it was this, it was that, and he goes through all these little moments. He said this is this one in this movie. We see that Russell gets once the guards come in to quell all the fighting. He gets detained back into the raft, and he's still stuck there. Wade has another.
When Wade was falling down the
side of the mountain,
he hit his head on the rock and just.
Yeah, it's a pretty rough. Yeah, he does get a nice little sequence where his head gets gooed on a rock.
Oh, he goes through the ringer in this movie.
But then he falls down into the water.
Icy Waters.
And he has a whole sequence with Vanessa again, where he keeps trying to get to
Which, you may not know this, Hanif, falling into icy water rejuvenates Canadians. So it probably.
I mean, I know athletes do like the ice bath thing, and I think it was supposed to be.
It's good for inflammation, but it's fucking crazy.
Good.
Yeah, not me. I'll take my hot bath and Epsom salt.
There you go.
So Wade busts out of the ice. He can't get close to her, and she says maybe this is a chance for him to reconnect with the man he used to be, by helping this kid. So he gets out of the ice, crawls out, and then heads back. Basically, we cut back to him back at the bar with no name, where he's talking with Weasel about how if they're going to help this kid, they're going to need a team of people to help, because Cable's a badass. If they're going to deal with him and help this kid, they're going to have to get a team together. So we see Cable going through his injuries in his apartment and then having a flashback as to what happened to his life, which is that Russell, as an adult, had come in and we actually don't learn this yet. We just see what happened to his family, which is a guy with fire powers comes into the room and incinerates a woman and a child.
So future Russell,
which we come to learn a little later, but yes, future Russell. So which is why he's trying to kill Russell in the past. But then we see Russell in the prison.
He's like, I'm not going to kill a kid. He's like, I'm not asking you to. I'll kill the kid.
Yeah, I'll kill the kid to stay out of my way. So Russell's still in the prison by himself now without any friends. And there was a mention how there was a monster that they kept in the basement of the icebox. So during a ride, he sneaks away and heads down to the door where that monster is and gives some of his food under the door to him and starts talking to him. The monster doesn't answer him, but you hear when he knocks on the thing, it knocks back and it rattles the whole building.
He's like, we'll be gangsters. I'm like Tupac and Ice Cube.
Yeah. And he has a nice little, so he's making a friend. And then we see this fun sequence where he's recruiting for his new team. And we get a Bedlam, who's played by Terry Crews, who can distort
Bedlam, who is actually an X-Force member.
And then we get Zeitgeist. They make a joke about how his powers are having his finger on the pulse of what's going on in the world. And he says now he spits venomous acid, which is he's
from Ecstatics, which is a great book.
Yeah, I mean to read that soon. I have the omnibus and it's sitting by my reading chair. It's amazing. We also meet Domino, who has we'll meet Shatterstars from another universe, where he's played by who?
Louis Tan.
The guy from the new Mortal Kombat movie.
Oh yeah, he's that weird Cole character.
I like that movie. I didn't like his character.
I hated that movie.
I hated that character. Actually, I kind of low-key hated the movie.
I like Scorpion.
Huh? Yeah, the best part was Scorpion because it was the same dude from Shogun.
Can you explain this to me? Well, he's also in the Wolverine. He's also in the Wolverine, and
he was also he was also in
Endgame too.
Yeah. Hiroyuki Sanada.
Yeah, he's on Shogun right now, which is a very popular show. He's on a show called Helix that I used to really like that he was in. Can you explain this to me? So he was this is going to take a side journey here. So he was a monk in feudal Japan who was killed back then, and his spirit was trapped in hell until it got loose in 2020.
Scorpion?
Came out.
So in the game lore,
I'm talking about the movie.
Okay, well, he's basically their clan.
How does he know English, and how does he know phrases like "get over here"?
Well, the Scorpion and their clan and Sub-Zero's clan were.
Yeah, I knew all that because they did that in the movie, but I just don't understand why he knew all English and all these like modern phrases like "get over here."
Get over,
because then he was trapped in hell for a century.
He got sent to hell, resurrected as a specter, and I guess also got a freaking Google Translate dialog.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I know. That made me laugh. I like that. Like his little catch thing was like her gardening tool. That was a fun little nod. But I really didn't like that. It had nothing to do with the Mortal Kombat tournament. It's like a precursor to that. It's all set up for a sequel.
Yeah. I think probably will happen.
No, it's happening. What's his face is playing Johnny Cage in it?
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
No, the guy from The Boys, Carl Urban. Yeah.
Which I'm still scratching my head on that.
It's a weird choice.
With all due respect, Carl Urban is a little up there in age to be playing Johnny Cage. Johnny Cage was the young, scrappy
Well, he's a washed-up actor, though. Like,
well, not
Johnny
really.
Cage
No,
in
I
the
mean, he
original
was a
movie.
washed-up actor, but he was still like kind of in his like mid 30s when
This is the part where you fall down.
Huh?
Yeah, this
This is the part where you fall down.
Yeah.
Actually, I really like the original Mortal Kombat. It's a fun movie.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
I loved it. I still watch it.
One of my favorites.
Directed
Me
by
too.
Paul
Like when he meets Liu Kang for the first time, and he's just like, "Here's $20. Carry my bags." He's just like, "Oh, I got it."
Your brother's
Takes his money.
is mine. No, and he's like,
"Oh, that Shang Tsung is so."
The guy that
legendary.
played Shang Tsung he chews on every piece of scenery. He overacts to the nines, but he's
so good. It's so.
He was
good.
in something recently that I saw where it was
Your soul
was it the movie? Was it the movie Life? He was in something recently. I think it was either Space Force or one of those shows where he played an older like Chinese scientist, and he was really good in it. It was weird seeing him again. It's been a long time.
He's awesome.
So we see Weasel get kidnapped by Cable, and Cable gives him a big speech about all the pain points and levels of pain you got to go through, and Weasel just caves immediately. Says, "I don't want to. You don't even talk to me about all that. I can't handle pain at all. I'll tell you everything you want to know." Like, he doesn't even try. He's like, "Listen, man, you can do whatever you want to me, but there's one thing you need to know is I will tell you everything you need to know right now." I don't handle pain very well.
He really lives up to his name. He's a weasel.
Yeah.
And later on, he goes, Cable kidnapped me and asked me for information. Don't worry, I only told him everything he wanted to know.
And nothing extra.
But just
only
before
what he
that,
exactly wanted to know.
Just before that, we meet the rest of the team. There's the Vanisher, who's a joke that they don't see him. So because he's impossible to tell he's even there because he's invisible.
Which is not Vanisher's powers in the comics.
No, I know. But and then there's also Zazie Beetz, who plays Domino, whose powers are that she's extremely lucky, and they don't really believe that's a true power.
Zazie Beetz.
Me too. She's great in this.
She is a queen.
Yeah.
She was on Mark Maron's podcast a while ago, and she had a really good interview.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
100%. Have you ever watched Atlanta on FX?
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. I just started watching it. I'm on the fifth episode of season 1 with the Justin Bieber episode.
Who comes up with luck for powers? Probably somebody who can't even draw feet.
It's so fun. Atlanta's such a good show. I finished The Bear, and it was like, you should watch Atlanta next. And I was like, I've been meaning to watch this. So I started watching it. It's so fucking good.
It is, but I just couldn't get into it.
Really? I fucking love it. It's great.
I don't know. Like, I have trouble getting into, like, it's probably the same thing with Breaking Bad, I guess. Like, I have trouble getting into things that focus around, like, super selfish characters because I don't care about them. Like the main character in that is just completely self-serving, at least.
So how far into Breaking Bad did you get?
Not very far, because I just hated everything about that.
Well,
show.
he's not at that point in the story. He's not super.
Maybe that's a bad example, but like that's why I couldn't get into Atlanta.
He's doing everything for his family at the start of it. Like that's before he even got selfish.
Yeah, well,
like you like Davin's like I can see where the story is going in 4 seasons time. I refuse.
No, it was actually the non-Bryan Cranston character that drove me crazy on that show.
Aaron.
Yeah, I couldn't take it. Yeah,
Aaron Paul.
Yeah, bitch.
10 scenes with him was about my max. That's about all I could handle.
And we get a young Kristen Ritter, who we all know as Jessica Jones in that show.
That's true.
Yeah.
You got a young
John Delancey plays her father in that.
That's true. He does. That's a very seminal storyline in season 2. Also, Giancarlo Esposito. That's where he got sort of. He was in like Do the Right Thing and a bunch of other movies, but that's the first thing I noticed him in, and kind of obviously reestablished his career.
Yeah, but and then went on to do like all types of great bad guys.
Now he's bad guys in every single thing that comes out. The Mandalorian, The Boys. He was just in Maxine, which is a really good movie, which I really liked. The sequel to X.
Marvel just picked him up.
Yeah, he's going to be in the Thunderbolts movie. So also one of the other people that recruited for X-Force is just a regular human. The Deadpool takes
Peter,
who is a stand-up comedian in real life and pretty funny guy.
I'm just here. I just saw the ad.
Yeah,
that's like a fun.
So and he has a fun line where he goes, "I don't know anything about this Cable case putting sunscreen on." He goes, "I don't know about this Cable character, but he certainly hasn't killed any more people than melanoma." He's just such a dweeby, white bread sort of dude with a mustache. He's just there along for the ride. And
but he's willing to jump out of a plane and
he also
go
asks
on this
Wade if he's
crazy
concerned about the wind because it's a
I was going to say, circling back, I was like, wasn't somebody made a reference about the wind? And
he did. He's like, "Aren't you concerned about the wind?" And he's like, "No, it'll be fine." So it
wasn't fine.
They all jump out and activate their chutes, but Peter is sitting, he walks out and sits on the edge and is trying to scoot himself off, helps him off the thing, pushes.
You're trying to jump, somebody who's scared to jump off the diving board.
Exactly.
They're sitting there.
So, and also I didn't mention that Zeitgeist, of course, is played by Bill
Skarsgård.
It's fairly big name now, and recently that Boy Kills World movie, but he was Pennywise in the It movies. It's on Hemlock Grove on Netflix, which show I really hate it. But anyway, they have this big. They play Thunderstruck by AC/DC, where they're all coming into this big action sequence, but the wind catches all their parachutes, and they all come to.
The X cool, though, that they form when they first come down is cool.
He does mention that he hated that the X-Men was so non-diverse in their name by calling them the X-Men, so his team would be called the X-Force. And then Domino says, "Well, isn't that derivative?" And he just says, "I didn't ask for your opinion, Peter." And Peter's like, because her ability is she's extremely lucky, so no matter what happens, it never really seems to affect her. It always works in her favor. So even him slipping up with the name is part of her powers.
That might have been my favorite line. I love that.
Sidebar. Bill Skarsgård is related to Stellan Skarsgård, who we all know from Thor.
Yeah. Also Alexander Skarsgård, who is
they got a whole Skarsgård.
Stellan Skarsgård is their dad.
Yeah.
And but Alexander from True Blood, and that what? Actually, speaking of Alexander Skarsgård, there's a Tarzan movie that he was in, which it didn't do very well, but it's a very good movie. I highly suggest it. The Legend of Tarzan, I think it's called. It's him and Margot Robbie, but it's really, really good.
Nice.
So Deadpool's parachute takes him to the Hillside Amusement Park sign, which he gets hung up on. But everybody else comes to a grisly end. Peter
goes out as a hero, though.
Strapped up in the helicopter, you see his green blood spill everywhere.
Yeah, Shatterstar goes right into a news helicopter and just gets gooed into green blood everywhere. Shit, I'm blanking on the Terry Crews' character's name right now.
Bedlam
goes right into a bus, gets hit by a bus as he comes in. The Vanisher hits power lines, and then we see a brief cameo of what he looks like as he's getting electrocuted. Did you recognize that actor, Devin?
Yes, that's Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt. And then we see Zeitgeist go right into a wood chipper. Peter manages to land on the ground fine, but Peter tries to help Zeitgeist out of the wood chipper, and Zeitgeist pukes on him and melts his arm off and kills him too. They all die except for Domino, of course, who lands safely.
She doesn't even land. She is able to chase the thing with her parachute, just keep it up in the air, and just land exactly where she wants.
She lands exactly where she needs to, basically. But there's also
inside the machine. She's just right.
There's a fun little moment. So there's the prison transport that they're trying to interrupt, right? To save this kid and stop Cable from killing him. But there's a great moment where she's coming in on there's a mural on a building off to the right, which is of Stan Lee, which is very nice. But then she manages to land where she's supposed to, right into the truck, literally right in the door. So she's driving the truck. But everything that happens to get her there, there's she lands on the ground, but then there's a car that swerves. I love that all of this stuff helps her get to what she needs to do, but it fucks over everyone else. So the guy driving that car is definitely dead. The car makes a ramp for her to walk up to get to where she needs to. All of this carnage sort of works in her favor. But
not very cinematic, those luck powers.
No, they make jokes about that too. But of course, Cable manages to instigate his plan and get on the prison truck, and then there's a big old fight between all of them. And I believe this is where Cable tells him that. Oh yeah, and Black Tom gets killed during the fight. He gets shot through the bars, and Deadpool accuses him of killing him because he's racist.
He's racist.
Kill Black Tom, you racist.
And he continually brings it up, which is funny. As Cable gets more and more mad about it, and he's like, "I'm not a racist."
Tell that to Black Tom.
He also when Deadpool, they have a moment. He says he's from the future, And Deadpool says, "Oh, I have so many questions," and he asks if dubstep is still cool. And he's like,
"Dubstep's for pussies."
He's like, "I love dubstep." And then the dubstep song plays. Well, they get in a big fight. There's a great fight sequence, like when because they're in the prison truck, so they're really close to each other. But when Deadpool goes to hit with his thing and he catches it, and Deadpool shooting with his gun, he's using his metal hand to stop the bullets. Like the gun is here because they're really tight to each other, but his hand is stopped. This is cool stuff.
Someone knows karate.
Yeah, that's right. They also make some fun, obviously, fourth wall breaking jokes. He says, what guy with a Winter Soldier arm would be coming after me?
And he calls him Thanos.
He says, "Zip it, Thanos." Later, yeah.
Zip it, Thanos. And of course, like he just ignores all those comments. Cable, he just like it's like as if they weren't even said. But yeah, funny. But one of my other favorite Domino lines, I don't know if we got to that point or not, where they need that like code and she's just like 7.
That's at the very end of the movie, like literally the last thing at the end of the movie. But you also have a moment where he kind of like teabags, the whole truck goes sideways. And goes
that was hilarious.
It goes off a rail, and then he kind of teabags like Cable as he's falling, and the domino lands like perfectly on like a blown up bear thing that's there for like a cards because her powers always work out super well. But Deadpool and Cable just get totally like mangled. Deadpool gets his head turned around the wrong way. And then we see who is being carried in the transport, which is Russell's friend, the monster, which is, of course, Juggernaut. All completely CGI, but also voiced by Ryan Reynolds.
Really? I did not know that.
He's credited as himself, but Ryan Reynolds did the voice.
He's credited as Juggernaut?
Yes, it says Juggernaut as himself in the credits.
That's amazing.
So he says I'm a huge fan, like of all, like, and he starts naming off all the great X-Men.
This is his favorite Marvel character.
Yeah, and then Juggernaut just walks up to him and says, "I'm going to tear you in half now," and picks him up.
And he actually does it.
I'm going to tear you in half now.
And then so Deadpool gets and then they take off because like basically he says, "I'm trying to help you. I'm your friend." Fire Fist says, "I heard you in prison. You're not my friend. I got a new friend now," which is Juggernaut.
What was that joke you made about like what something you don't have, and he's like legs?
Oh yeah, that's later. Yeah,
he's like,
yeah, that's right. Because he's lying there without any legs.
Does Juggernaut have that I don't have?
Yeah,
don't say legs.
And he goes, "I say legs," and then he just goes like this.
And he puts them on.
He's like, "Oh, it still hurts." Yeah.
So then,
he's like, "That's not a rope."
Yeah.
Domino picks him up and takes him off to Blind Owl where he's recovering, where he has little baby legs now because his legs are growing back. And
straight shirt cocking it.
Yeah, and the Donald Duck in it. And Weasel comes in and makes some jokes because they made a bunch of jokes in the first movie when he was describing what Wade looked like, and they kind of do that again here. Where he's describing what he
looks like an avocado.
Yeah, he said it's like, what does he say? It's like someone tried to give birth anally, but then stopped halfway. And he's trying to describe what he looks like. Because your face is haunting. Because Blind Owl can't see, so she asks him what he looks like, and then he goes off in a big tirade explaining all these different things. So we see he has little baby legs.
What was that? One going back to the beginning when he was like, "You look." What did you say? You look or smell like a Civil War or World War II.
Oh yeah. It's when he went because he said he's been at the bar for like a week and he hasn't left, and he said,
and he pissed on himself.
Yeah, and he said you smell like a Civil War vet with like gangrenous like wounds and stuff. It's very very colorful language, descriptive language. So basically, Depinder, Weasel, and Domino are all planning what the next move is when they're surprised that Cable shows up and tells them why he hates this kid, which is because in the future, what happens now is Russell kills somebody, which is the headmaster of the school, and we have. I don't know if we've learned exactly what they did. I think we saw in a flashback at some point, I think when Russell was in prison, that the headmaster of the school was like this religious fanatic that would torture all the kids because he believed they were like the devil was in them because they were abominations against humanity.
And he'd be like, "Yes," and like, "Through me be healed," or whatever.
It's kind of alluded that he's a pedophile as well, and it's probably touching the kids too. as well as other people in the group. But
And
anyway,
Domino went to that school. We
It's,
find.
and it's the Ethics Academy, so you're thinking, is Mr. Sinister a pedophile?
possibly, if any of the X-Men villains could be, he would be one that would probably be high on the list.
Yeah, likely. He does kidnap children in X-Men '97.
None of you are necessary.
So they also have a fun moment where Deadpool's making some jokes and he has a gun on him, and then he pulls out something out of his tactical bag, which they all say is obviously fanny pack, which is lip balm that he applies while telling Wade he reminds him of his wife, which is funny. Does he make eye contact with you while applying the lip balm and tell me that? But he says how his wife also hid her pain behind humor, and that in the future, he was a kind of a cop. He doesn't really explain what he did in the future, but
Interesting that he had a daughter and not Tyler.
Hope her name
Tyler.
her name was
Yeah,
Hope.
her name was Hope. Yeah, very funny. Hope Summers, but yeah.
So, but
nice nod there.
in this timeline, Russell kills the headmaster and gets a taste for it. Becomes kind of a criminal that kills anyone that gets in his way, and eventually he becomes Cable's trying to apprehend him in the future. And because he gets in his way too many times, he shows up at Cable's family's house and incinerates his family. So Cable has a time shifter to allow him to go back in time, but he only has enough to go back and get back to the future. So he can't use
Lazy writing.
Yeah, that's what Deadpool says too.
Oh,
Well, you know.
Also another thing. This is kind of similar,
Also, Russell looks super sinister in the future.
Yeah.
You know, like he has like the big hood and he like looks really.
And something hit me when I was thinking about it. I just realized Cable has 3 grandfathers:
3 grandfathers?
Sinister, Charles, and Corsair. Well, they're all in his name. His full name is Nathan.
Oh, it was Nathan Christopher Charles Summers.
Yeah, right.
Kind of think about it. I was like, oh wow, he's.
I would assume that the Nathan, they didn't name him after Mr. Sinister, but that's pretty messed up if they did.
Well, it's not Nathan, it's Nathaniel, isn't it?
Nathan is short for Nathaniel.
Not always. Not always. If your birth certificate says Nathan, then it's just Nathan.
Yeah, but usually it's short for Nathaniel.
Not always. I've known many Nathans that are just Nathan.
Did you know them as Nathan, or you've seen their birth certificate?
I've seen their birth certificate. They all showed me. I asked them to give them to me.
Okay, fair enough then.
I everybody that's close to me, I need to see their birth certificate to ensure they're actual human beings. So I haven't seen yours yet, Devin, but you're still in the water.
So we're not friends. Is that what you're saying?
You're in a holding pattern. You're in the gray zone.
All right.
So, yeah, basically, Cable says that they have, they're a lot in common because, Deadpool lost his girlfriend and Cable lost his whole family. He wants to kill this kid. Deadpool doesn't want him to, and he says, if I can have a chance to stop him, he says, killing this one person gives him a taste for it, and he becomes a monster in the future. Also, Cable carries a teddy bear, which was his daughter's, which is all singed from the explosion. So, which is important for later. So Deadpool says, just give me a minute with him to try to convince him not to become this monster. And then Cable says, you got 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds is the best I can do.
And then Deadpool has this and the music even comes up to give him this iconic moment where he manages to stand on his little baby legs and walk across the room to shake Cable's hand and say 30 seconds.
Straight shirt cocking it.
Yeah, just straight shirt.
He did. He when they first met Russell earlier in the movie, he referenced the 4 to 5 moments.
Yes, that's what Cable would say there. No, sorry, what Klaus
4 to 5 moments.
That's what he says when. That's what he says when he kills the people.
Yeah, and Colossus smiles. He's like, he finally got my lesson, and then he shoots the guy in the head. And Colossus is like, no, and tackles him.
Yeah.
Colossus is so good in this. This is him here. This is where he goes now. He needs somebody big to fight Juggernaut.
Yeah.
So he
goes
plays
to
a love
Colossus
song for Colossus.
and tries to get him to come out of and Colossus is reading a book on his bed, and he's trying. This is taken right out of the movie Say Anything with John Cusack, where he's outside with the boombox trying to win him back. But Colossus doesn't come out, and then they leave. And they have a big segment.
Neither do those two.
They get to the school at the same time that they have to take the Pinder's cab to get there. We get to the school the same time that Russell and Juggernaut get there, and then there's a big old fight.
Yep.
You don't got to go through all the nuances of it, but it's a pretty great fight. It's a really good
And
fight.
Colossus shows up to fight Juggernaut, and it's amazing.
Deadpool has a metal rod stuck in his head.
Yeah.
Oh,
Grabs his foot and just slams him down on the fence, and the metal rod goes right through his head, and then he's like kind
Super
of in,
confused.
Like, his brain is fucked up with the rod in it, and then Colossus comes and picks him up
with In Your Eyes playing in the background.
Colossus like picks him up, and then he's like, he even goes like, he points at him, and then makes like the little scissor symbol and does like this between them.
He grabs his ass. There's all kinds of innuendo between him and Colossus. Like when he's talking to Vanessa in the afterlife, he's like, "Don't fuck Elvis." She's like, "Don't fuck Colossus."
Yeah.
He's like, "What?"
We also find out that Domino's from the school as well, which is part of her luck powers, and led her back to the school to rectify what happened to her when she was younger by going there, she was tortured by these people too.
Well, it plays back to what she said when she first walked into the room to join the team. She's just like, I know my reason for being here will become like apparent or whatever.
Yeah, apparent.
Like, I don't know why I'm here yet. She's like,
and even when she goes in to rescue all the kids, and there's too many, she fucks up all the orderlies that are trying to stop her from taking them. And then she says, "I need a bus get you out of here." And during the fight, a bus gets thrown and busts out the side of the wall, so the bus is right there, and she gets them all on the bus. But there's a big old fight between Colossus and Juggernaut mostly. It's pretty great, and they even say, "Here comes a CGI fight," which is fun.
Like Colossus is taking it on the chin there for a while. He even gets his like wrist snapped. It looks like, but then he gets pissed and starts fighting dirty.
And Negasonic Teenage Warhead are there as well. But they get during the fight.
Oh yeah, they help him a bit.
They managed to bust open a light tower, which exposes some wiring, and then at one point he managed to rip down the back of Juggernaut's costume to expose his butt. And at the same time, Colossus takes the electric wire and shoves it in the butt of Juggernaut. At the same time that a Negasonic Teenage Warhead hits him with a huge blast, and he falls into the water that's electrified as well. So it seems to put him down long enough. When they first meet Russell, it's a funny little joke too. When Deadpool shows up, he says, "Why are you dressed like the Unabomber?" He has the hood over with the glasses on. But Russell finally gets a chance to kill the headmaster, and Deadpool gets between him and the blast. And actually, I'm sure this is a nod to his gray and black X-Force costume, because his costume gets singed and it's just all gray and black, which is kind of cool looking.
This is a nod too. Like, he has an X-Men costume and it's yellow. It has a bunch of yellow on it.
Is it Let It Go playing when? Or is it Yentl? I know something's playing when.
No, I think they're playing. Was it Yentl? I think it was Yentl.
It's Yentl. It's from Yentl, I think.
Because they keep. They
I don't think it's Let It Go. Because they're not.
No. The sun will come out tomorrow.
Tomorrow, that's what it is. Bet your bottom dollar. Yeah, that's right. Never mind. It's right. So, Wade. Cable gets a shot to take a shot on Russell. Wade jumps and takes the bullet. He also says. First, he puts on the collar and says, "If you have to kill someone, you got to kill me, because it'll stop his power." So he puts on the deactivation collar to deactivate his powers. Then Cable gets a shot. Deadpool takes the bullet in the chest and has a really fun death sequence, basically, where he says, "Well, like the teddy bear that Cable carries has turned back to normal," implying that the future that they wanted is not going to happen, where Russell becomes a villain. But then he tells all of them that they meant so much to him, and he's going to go on to he says goodbye to Yukio. Bye, Yukio. Bye, Wade. But he has a really long, like, he keeps almost dying and then coming back. It's a gag that's been done to death in comedy, but it's really funny in this one, where he's like, you think he's gone, he kind of comes back and says more stuff, but eventually dies and finally goes to the afterlife to meet Vanessa, and there's no barrier there. He walks through the barrier and he looks the way he did before. He's back to being handsome without the burns and everything on him. But then she tells him it's not his time yet, and he has a new F word, which they said earlier, which stood for family, that he has to go back and care for, which is all the people he's touched throughout this story. And then we see Cable use his one jump to go back and put the coin in before they fight back in Wade's pocket. So when he shoots him, he hits the coin. And Wade gets pulled back to the modern timeline where he's still alive and accuses Cable of liking him. Did you notice something different?
Best buddies fight pedophiles together.
Yeah, there's a funny moment where the headmaster. There's a funny moment earlier where the headmaster was running away, and the Cable even says he even runs like a fucking pedophile, and he's like, he's like this really fancily. But one thing I didn't notice until this very moment, is after the timeline change, you notice Cable still has the scars around his eye, but his eye isn't cybernetic anymore.
Oh, what?
His eye was glowing the whole time, right? It was a robot eye. But after they fixed the timeline, it's not like that anymore. It's a regular human eye.
Oh, it must have been Fire Fist that did it to him.
Exactly, and maybe that's why his arm. I don't know if his arm was still metal or not, but it might not have been at that point too.
Mm.
So, actually, let me see what it is.
If he's anything like the Cable character, then he has a techno-organic virus, and that's why.
Well, I don't think
they probably weren't going that deep in it because they're
like, I don't think they were. No, he still has a metal arm. He still has a metal arm. So anyway,
techno-organic virus.
The Cable says he's going to stick around. Well, he mentioned that in the future, nobody's alive after 50 years because our fucked up generation put the planet into a coma. But he says he's going to hang around and maybe try to fix that. He said his family's fine in the future. Deadpool accused him of like doing it for him. He says he didn't, but he obviously did. And he says, now you're stuck here. And he says that my family will be fine. I'll figure out a way to get back. But in the meantime, I'll hang around and make sure you guys don't fuck up this planet the way it's supposed to. But as they're having this nice moment all together, the headmaster guy comes up and calls them all an abomination in the eyes of God. And as he's saying this, the taxi driven by Dopinder comes through the wall beside him and just cleans him. Like, he just kills him instantly.
Courage, motherfuckers.
Yeah. It's just a big splash of blood and everything runs it over.
Yeah.
Dopinder gets out. And it's funny because like Deadpool's laughing. He's like, I could hear the taxi coming, but I couldn't say anything.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Which is pretty great.
That was
and
so
then
funny.
Negasonic and Yukio. Oh yeah, he does do this when she leaves at the end when he says goodbye to her.
Goodbye, Yukio.
But then he has a nice little moment about how he has a new family and it's all sort of come together. And then we get that song I can't think of. We belong together. Da, da. What's that song? Yeah. I can't think of who sings it, but it's a really good song. So actually, maybe it's right here because I think I do have some of the notes about the music. Let's see. We got Ashes. So that song was not written by Celine Dion, but she performed it. It was made for the movie though. All Out of Love, X Gonna Give It to You was played earlier. Hit the Dance Floor is the dubstep song. 9 to 5 played too. They had a great Dolly Parton.
9 to 5, hit it, Dolly.
Yeah. Take On Me was playing too, like a slow version of it.
Yeah, the unplugged version.
Yeah, which is fucking awesome. Have you ever heard that version of the song? That
Pat Benatar, We Belong.
Yeah, We Belong. That's it. It's Pat Benatar. I couldn't think of it. So then we get a nice little credit sequence, and then we get some mid-credit sequence where we see that Negasonic, Teenage Warhead, and Yukio managed to fix the time slider to let him go back in time. He goes back and saves Vanessa. And then he also goes back and
he saves
Peter from getting killed. All the other X-Force guys do, but Peter manages to get saved, which seems to be the only one he really cared about. He's like, just walk the fuck away.
I'm going to miss them all, except for Shatterstar. He seemed like a dick.
Then he goes back and kills the version of Deadpool from X-Men Origins that he played. And then he goes back and kills Ryan Reynolds before he could accept the role of Green Lantern in the Green Lantern movie. And then he says, and apparently there's a cut scene that was made where he goes to see baby Hitler, but he doesn't kill him.
Oh, no way.
He talks himself out of killing. You can see it online. He talks himself out of killing him, and basically he's just playing with the baby.
I think it's on the, it's like one of the like deleted scenes on the Blu-ray or something.
Yeah, I think so.
I remember owning all the hard copies, and then I sold them.
I've seen it, so yeah. So, and yeah, we get a nice little finish, and wrapped up movie.
All right. Well, let's move on.
Each of us will have to look into his own heart and decide.
Decide. It's time to decide, fellas.
Oh.
Let me bring up this little screen here. We'll take a look at where we're at.
I mean, I don't... Okay.
All right.
I gave the last one a 9, didn't I?
Well, let's see. So we've got Deadpool 1. Yep. 9s across the board. We all gave it a 9.
I think I like this one better.
I do like this one better.
Well, it has to be a 10 then, doesn't it?
You gave Logan a 10.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 10. It's pretty good. I like it as much as Logan for sure, in a different way.
I like it better than Logan. What did I give Logan? A 9. Yeah, I got to give this one a 10 too. I think this movie was like, it kind of killed it. I think it's the best representation of a Deadpool movie you could pretty much have. And I think it's the best X-Men movie as far as like being an X-Men, feeling like an X-Men movie. None of those Fox movies felt like X-Men movies to me. I mean, same with Logan. Logan didn't feel like a Wolverine movie. Great movie, but didn't feel like a Wolverine movie.
That movie was like the Passion of Christ of Marvel movies. I can only watch that movie once.
Yeah. I hadn't seen it in a long time.
I haven't gone back to that movie since I saw it in theaters.
Yeah, I only did for this rewatch, and it had been long enough. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And actually, I saw some things in it that bothered me before and bothered me less this time. Andre kind of talked me into not thinking they were as bad either. Hanif, what does Deadpool... And in Logan, like, I was bothered about the clone thing, and you're like, yeah, but narratively it makes sense. I'm like, yeah, I know, but it's still lame. But narratively it does make sense.
Well, that's what I mean. You sometimes have to try to put aside the what's best from the comics for what's best for the movie.
Not even for comics, but storytelling. The clones, to me, are just always a easy, lazy writing choice. But
I mean, it's not like they've been around forever. You know, the technology to actually do them well has only been for the past couple decades.
And yet they've already done it to death, so it shows you how.
Well, they've made movies about clones, so yes.
What does Deadpool 2 get from you, Hanif?
You guys are gonna look at me nuts. So I gave Deadpool a 9. I'm gonna give Deadpool 2 a 8.5.
We don't do points.
Oh, we don't do points here.
Oh, you don't?
No, sir.
8's fine. Give it an 8. That's fine.
Fine, I'll give it an 8. Yeah, I mean,
8's a good score. 80% is good.
Like I said, it's still a great movie. Just some things irked me about it. Like, I mean, I'm one of those sticklers that is not a huge fan of people playing like two different people in this almost same universe. I know it's like Fox and MCU, but like we had just had you as Thanos. Why we got you as Cable? Like, and some of the casting choices were a little off, and then the wasted cameos and stuff like that. Like. And
those all bothered me the first time I watched it. I don't know why it didn't so much this time.
Yeah, and then like I don't know. I still have a soft spot for the first one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll give it an 8.
That's fair.
Still great. It's still got heavy rewatch potential.
It still ranks above Deadpool by 0.3 overall.
Davin, I don't want to get into a big thing about this, but I smiled and chuckled to myself a lot while listening to the new Hold Up podcast, where you're explaining to Murphy how a rating system is supposed to work. An exact opposite of the way you used it when we were doing it on this show for some of the X-Men 97 movies. You're like, if you like something better than the other thing, you have to rate it higher. That's how rating systems work. And I remember sitting there going, yes, he understands. But
no. Like I told you I like those 10s differently, and I ranked them on our year-end special.
You said you liked some episodes better than others.
No, I remember the conversation you're talking about. What Murphy was doing is we do our final rankings.
Yes, no, I know.
It made no sense.
Nuance to that, but still,
it made no sense.
You literally said if you like something better than something else, you need to rank that higher. That's how rating systems work.
Right.
It just made me laugh a lot.
Fine.
It's all good.
I've gotten my comeuppance. I hope you're happy.
I am. Goodbye.
Yeah.
It's all good. A great episode.
There's context there, people. Go check up Hold Up.
It was a good episode. It was fun. Although Davin is right, only one of those movies is about bugs.
Yep, mine.
The one that
I picked. We're moving on. New segment. All right, let's go to...
Hey, check this out.
Hey, check this out. This is our comic recommendations, reminiscences segment.
Go ahead, because I don't know what mine is.
I'll go ahead. I know what mine's going to be. I haven't read it since it came out. Well,
I know what mine's going to be.
What I have recently picked up at Giant Robot Comics, who I believe the owner of is going to be on your show there in a week or two.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
He's the only guest I got in the... In the
It's the only one you got in the can right now?
Yeah, you gotta get on it, man.
Ah, shit. All right. I'll hook it up. All right. X-Men Adventures. They re-released the first 8 issues of X-Men.
I'll get that for sure.
Yeah, so it's in trade now. Fear and Hated. So check that out. It's the first. It's in, and as I recall, from reading these back when they came out, I had the original issues. I should have kept them. But there's different stuff in here. They're not beat for beat from the show. They just mostly follow the stories, and there's some of the similar dialogue and stuff. But yeah, they stray from the episodes enough that they're definitely worth reading on their own. So I'm looking forward to revisiting these. Written by Ralph Macchio. No, illustrated by Andrew
Karate
Wildman.
Kid. No, I'm kidding. No, it's not. There's another writer from Marvel has the same.
Yeah, there's 2 Ralph Macchios.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah. But
I think it's spelled slightly different, but I don't remember exactly.
I don't think so. Isn't Ralph Macchio the actor? Macchio?
Could be.
Yeah, same.
Different Macchios.
Oh, and
It's the same guy. He's just a pseudonym.
Final season starts in like 2 weeks, I think.
Oh, I can't wait. I love that show.
Or actually, no, it's
Kai.
like less than 2.
Cobra Kai. Best show on TV.
Oh, that's coming up soon. Yeah.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
So that's mine. Check it out. Oh, and also I'll have a backup one here. The final issue of the X-Men '97 series came out.
Oh, I was gonna recommend that.
Yeah. Oh, you recommended. I won't talk about it anymore. We'll get back.
Fine.
Well, you go now. You go next.
Yeah, the
Pick it
final
up.
issue
Pick
of,
up where I left off.
The X-Men '97 prelude. It's picks up where I guess so they were at so the X-Men went to Jean's parents' house for a baby shower, and as they were celebrating, I guess Sinister sends the Marauders after them, and so it's like a big old fight in Jean's parents' neighborhood, and so it was just
Sabretooth and the Marauders.
Yeah. Well, no, they held Sabretooth back, but he it was just like all the other
Arclight,
the group, Arclight, and everybody.
Harpoon.
And then you come to find some other backstory stuff, like how Magneto got his hands on Xavier's last will, and it was actually from Emma Frost and Sebastian Shaw. And then you wouldn't
it have been sent to him by the lawyers? Why do we got to do that?
Because the Hellfire Club, they're shady bastards.
All right, okay.
They get their hands on shit that they really shouldn't.
Movers and shakers.
All right.
And then you see kind of like the beginning stages of how the Friends of Humanity got their hands on Roberto.
Okay.
So it's a kind of nice little lead into the
nice.
premiere episode. So it's actually really the '97 prelude comics are a really good read. They're fun, they're colorful, and they give a little backstory as to like how people how everything's tied in.
Cool.
Yep. Agreed. What you got for us, Andre?
The graphic novel Pluto. I know I've talked about the TV show that I really like on Netflix that's based on it, but if you haven't read it, I highly suggest it. Dystopian. It's based on a storyline from the original Astro Boy cartoon that was fleshed out into a full 8-part manga. The show does, each episode covers one of the books of the manga, and it's a world in the future where robots coexist with humans. They're kind of lesser in the eyes of society. Robots will like order food just so they fit in, even though they don't need to eat. Although there are several that are like the 7 most strongest robots in the world for various reasons, and then something is attacking and killing all of them and leaving horns that come out of their heads separated to make it look like they have horns. And a cop who is also one of these robots is trying to solve these murders. There's also humans that drafted these robot laws that are winding up dead in the same way as well. And this one of those 7 robots gets sacked, who is a Swedish robot, is tasked with discovering this. And there's also an analog for Astro Boy named Adam and his sister as well that are in it. But it's a supremely, it's very much like Watchmen, like trying to solve a mystery while this crazy shit's going on. And it's super, super good. I would highly suggest it. The show on Netflix is amazing, but the original graphic novel is fantastic too. So check it out.
Very cool.
All right. Moving on.
You don't like the movie? Change the channel.
All right. Well, I'm gonna do a new one just because it's the one I watched recently and I really liked it. Yorgos Lanthimos, who is a Greek director who won the Oscar, or Emma Stone, I think, won the Oscar for Poor Things, based on his movie. I don't think it won Best Picture this year, but he won Best Picture for The Favorite a few years ago. His new movie Kinds of Kindness that just came out, which is Jesse Plemons, Emma Stone, Willem Dafoe. It's three separate, disconnected but kind of connected stories about love, I guess, in the different way. But it's very strange, surrealist stuff. But it's very, very good, and I highly suggest it. It's long, but it's really good. Watch that. And also, if you like horror movies, watch Maxine, the end of the sequel trilogy they did with X and Pearl. It's really good.
Get any TV or movie recommendations for us, Hanif?
I'm on my standard shit like The Boys, House of Dragon. If you're a DC fan, I'd say watch My Adventures with Superman. It's this cool new animated
I mean to watch that. I've heard good things about it.
It's really good. Like, it's produced by like a Korean like anime studios, and it's got a really interesting twist to your traditional story about the big boy in blue.
Yeah, it's kind of animated in a manga style too, right?
Yeah,
or an anime style. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. There's a little spoiler. There's a scene where when Clark gets his suit, he kind of does like a little like Sailor Moon transformation.
Really? That's fun.
And it's so funny, but I love the corniness of it. But what else? Have you guys watched Tokyo Vice?
I've heard really good things. It's by what's his face, isn't it? Michael Mann.
Yeah,
the guy did Heat. Yeah, Heat.
Yeah. So yeah, it's based on a true story about this American journalist who goes to Tokyo to write for their paper, and he kind of gets involved in like doing stories about the Yakuza, and it gets a little hairy. There's 2 seasons of it. I don't know if they're doing a third, but it looks like it wrapped after the 2nd season. So if you have Max, check that out.
I've heard good things about that. I thought he had something to do with it, but maybe he doesn't. Oh yeah, no, he's executive producer, Michael Mann. He did the Heat and Miami Vice, the original TV show and the movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've heard good things.
Well, it's been a few weeks. My recommendation is go back and watch X-Men 97, everybody. It's great. And you know what? The Detectorists, because it's the best show ever. Go watch Detectorists. It's relaxing and funny.
And go watch Superhero Squad.
You know what? We've been picking away that she loves it, actually. Edith asked me to watch it all the time. She's like, Superhero Squad.
It's hella fun.
She loves superheroes and Spider-Man. She's got a new Spider-Man poster on her wall and a new Spider-Man lamp and a new like Marvel superheroes poster with like the one.
You're teaching her well.
Man, it's not. I'm not even trying. Like, she gets exposed to these things just barely, like through me. I don't like get her to watch them or anything, except for Superhero Squad because Hanif told me I should. But
the show, like I said, when I first started watching it, I was like, when someone told me about it, I was like, this looks mad, like childish. And then
it's a lot of fart jokes and shit.
I just sat down and watched, a lot of fart jokes from Abomination and Mole Man being stinky as shit. But I just sat down and watched it, and honestly, off the cameos alone, the show is freaking amazing.
Super fun characters show up all the time, and it's like, so fun.
Yeah, no, there's one. I don't know if you got to the episode where Wolverine he had to go back to the Xavier Institute because apparently he's short a couple of school credits.
Yeah, no,
he had to go back to school, and he's back there with like Cyclops and Jean and Storm and Colossus. Colossus is wearing a big old starter jacket because he's like they pit him as the jock. Jean's wearing like an ex-cheerleader outfit, and it's just so silly. I said, it's like Muppet Babies meets Marvel.
You're like, it's all about the cameos, and then I put on the first episode and Storm's the cameo. I'm like, oh, I'm sold.
They had one. No, there was one episode where they literally had the heroes for hire. They had Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and this and that.
That's
like,
awesome.
Where did they come from? Nobody showed highlights them at anything.
Yeah. Iron Fist.
Yeah, they had whole Netflix shows.
I mean live action, but that was after people started waking up and getting mature.
Yeah.
All right.
Luke Cage and Iron Fist were in Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and then they were in that Ultimate Spider-Man series.
Right, they were. With White Tiger and
Nova.
maybe Nova. Yeah.
I never finished that series. Actually, might
That's
need
a
to go
good
back.
show, though. It's funny.
And I still need to sit down and watch Avengers Assemble in its entirety. Like, I'm still very salty about watching that show because that was what they replaced Earth's Mightiest Heroes with. And I'm still very tight about that show getting canceled.
Yeah. The polls got pretty tight on what we're going to review next.
Are y'all? Is Evolution still ahead or what's up?
It's ahead by one. Yep. Ahead by
Okay.
one. Because of my vote, which I wasn't going to vote, but then I realized Andre voted for Spider-Man. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to vote too.
Did I vote?
Yeah, you voted in the
I
poll.
was just going to say I don't remember if I voted or not. Okay.
Yeah, you picked Spider-Man.
Man, I wanted to do Spider-Man so bad.
I know,
mean,
and so do
I
I.
was gonna say-
But
I
like
was-
the
I was
people,
gonna say,
the people
in the
want
spirit
to.
of your podcast being like an X-Men related show.
Yeah, we did
Compare the
shoehorn our
Jurassic
stuff. We did
Evolution
shoehorn our
next.
stuff by calling it that, but that's fine.
It was your idea, Andre.
Oh, you didn't offer an idea to make it neutral. It was all
No, I
X-Men
didn't.
related when we came up with names. And
It
X-Rated's
was.
a great name.
It is. All right, it's growing on me.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
we'll get
X-Men.
to Spider-Man
Right?
eventually. I have a plan, actually, and my plan I explained to Andre, and I think all the timing is going to work out great. I have a plan.
You know what God does when man plans?
Kills.
Laughs.
No, God kills. Man laughs.
It's
God
man
loves, man
it's
kills.
man plans and God laughs is the way the phrase goes. Because no matter what you plan, it doesn't matter. Because whatever, not that I necessarily believe in him, but whatever God's going to do, whatever your plans are minuscule into what his plans are.
Yeah, that's the whole saying. You want to make God laugh, tell him your plans.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, fair enough. You can support the show at patreon.com/X-Men Review Show. Get sweet merch over at redbubble.com/people/X-Men Review Show/shop. I ordered another shirt. I got a morph shirt coming.
I got three of
That's
them.
going to
So
be fun.
I need to get that. I need to get that. What is it? Genosha. Remember Genosha T-shirt.
I got
never
that
forget.
shirt.
Never forget.
I got that
forget.
one. That's the first one I ordered.
Does it have a date on it, or is it just like
No, but
No.
I should have done that. That would have been a good idea.
Yeah, the show, like whenever the show date was.
Somebody bought that as a poster today. Somebody bought a Genosha Never Forget poster today.
Nice.
Yeah. Look good on someone's wall, though I think they bought a white poster. It looks better on black. I don't know if you can switch these posters to black on there, people, as a background, but that
it
Genosha
should be a
thing does
black
look
background.
better
Yeah,
on black.
they usually give you an option of color, like as long as it's like
For
a
the
gender-
posters, too? Okay.
Yeah, it should like black, white, gray, slate, something like that. Maybe a navy blue,
Okay.
something like that. I've ordered a few things off of Redbubble before.
Alrighty. That's good, though. You can contact us at xmenreviewshow@gmail.com or hit me up on Facebook, because that's where we're at. We're on the Facebooks, the YouTubes, and Twitch. Find our audio-only version wherever you get your podcasts. Please like, review, and subscribe. Give us some reviews. People tell us why we're great, or why, some things are great and Andre's annoying, or, whatever. No,
Ouch,
they
that
would
was
never think
unwarranted.
that.
What'd you call me annoying?
Because I've been reading this book about bigger words for annoying to Edith. Like,
Oh, okay.
it's this kid's book. It's just like, here's another word for annoying, irksome, and like,
Irksome's a good one.
yeah. So it's in my head. Andre's not annoying.
You didn't use the word irksome. You used the word annoying.
Yeah, I know, because it's like they say that in the book too. Anyway, don't worry about it.
No, I'm upset.
Well, you're always upset.
I'm never
You know why?
upset.
You know why? You know
Why?
why you're upset,
You're
Andre?
gonna pity dick in my mouth? You're gonna look for the
No.
sunlight? Is that what you're doing?
I want to fill my soul. I want to belong to something.
Because you need to belong to something,
I am
Andre.
I am 10-year-old
You need to
Kirsten
fill your
Dunst.
soul. You belong to the X-Goons now. So. And you can find us at ufpodcast.com if people still go to websites, which I don't think they do.
Why?
Nobody goes to websites anymore.
Not really.
You know Google's a website, right?
It's a search engine.
Yeah, attached to a website.
Yeah, okay, people go to that one website.
Where do you check your mail at, Deb?
My app.
Okay. Apps
My
are just
mail
tiny
app.
websites.
Oh my.
Now we're splitting hairs. I don't agree with that at all.
Well, someone who's made both, they are. Anyway, continue.
You've made apps? What kind of
Yes.
apps have you made?
There's like different software you can use to make apps, and usually it's just a matter of taking websites and then pressing them into in app form, depending on the one you're using. I'm not making one for the show; it's too much work.
Oh, we don't need an app.
Okay.
Jeez, I wouldn't even download it. Like, all right. Well, should we get out of here, fellas?
Sure.
Good movie.
Thank
I'm
you for
looking
having
forward
me
to the
on
third
again,
one.
fellas.
Your homework is to watch.
Oh yeah, homework.
Homework is to watch X-Men: Dark Phoenix.
I've never seen it, so
I remember
it'll be a new
it not being. I
experience for
remember
me.
it not being as bad as the internet thought it was when I saw it, but
I'm expecting an absolute inflamed dumpster.
There is like a redeeming quality or two in the movie.
Everyone said it was like worse than X-Men 3: The Last Stand, and it certainly was not.
I'm expecting it to be worse than X-Men 3. X-Men 3 had some charms.
Yeah. I'll say that.
Is it worse than Apocalypse?
No, Apocalypse. I mean, I'm gonna be that guy. Apocalypse. I can watch Apocalypse. Dark Phoenix, I will never touch again.
Fair enough.
I probably wouldn't have if it wasn't for the show. So
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I probably never would have watched Dark Phoenix if it wasn't the show. I didn't watch it for a reason. I was done with the Fox X-Men. I was like, I don't need another one. I didn't need Apocalypse. I didn't need First Class. I was done.
I went to see it because I knew it was. Well, this was already after, I guess. Disney already announced that they acquired the rights to X-Men and everything. So this was kind of like the swan song.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I kind of felt like obligated as a X fan. I was like, okay, let me go stomach this. It's like going to your doctor visit. Like you have to do it at least like once a month or whatever.
I'm gonna need like 20 minutes to read your T-shirt sometime.
Oh, periodic table.
I know, but I want to read it all, and like I don't have time for that right now.
I'll find the I'll find the link and then I'll send you the actual atomic table.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think you can still buy it. You just look up periodic table of X-Men and then they have like all the breakdowns and stuff. So it's actually really cool. I think I bought this while I was on lockdown.
Yeah.
Had a little extra money on my pocket thanks to unemployment.
And not being able to go anywhere.
Yep. Well, I mean, I technically was still going places.
Yeah.
you're the reason it didn't stop in 2020. No, I'm just kidding.
Listen,
it wasn't
Florida
those dipshit convoy guys in Canada. It was Hanif the whole time.
Yes. Oh, speaking of people all along, did any of you guys watch the Agatha All Along?
I just found out before the start that there's a trailer, so no, I haven't.
Yeah, it looks fun to me. Like I think it'll probably bomb because every time they try to make a Marvel property about characters that people don't care about in the comics, it bombs. But
they could always throw in one.
It looks
you
fun.
Know what I mean? Like, why not throw in?
I'm interested. I mean, mainly because Aubrey Plaza's in it, and I love her from Parks and Rec.
Yeah, she's great. You ever watch Ingrid Goes West? You should watch that if you haven't. It's very good.
Okay.
I remember 5-0 Goes West.
No, it's a really good movie about like our obsession with like Instagram celebrity culture and that sort of thing. It's very, very good. Check it out. What O'Shea Jackson's in it too, Ice Cube's kid, and he's really funny. Really, really funny.
Oh, Ice Cube named his kid after himself.
Yeah,
I think it's O'Shea Jackson Jr. or whatever. O'Shea Jr.
Yeah. He actually played him in the NWA movie.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And then I think he was in one of the Godzilla movies. One of the more
not the last one. That's one before it. He's been in a lot of stuff. He was in
or was it King Kong or something? I know he was in one of the movies with like King Kong or Godzilla.
Or both. There's two that's both.
Anaconda. No, that was Ice Cube.
I was like, wait, what?
Yeah, no. You know what? Hot take here, though. O'Shea is a more badass name for a rapper than Ice Cube.
I saw him when he was in Turo.
O'Shea is a badass name.
Oh, he was in Godzilla King of Monsters.
Oh, that one. Okay.
And Cocaine Bear, apparently.
Yeah, he was. He was very, very, very big in that one.
Hitting up all the rap shows, Andre. We're a day early because Andre's going to see Killer Mike tomorrow.
Very
Nice.
excited.
I was almost going to go to that show, just then it snuck up on me.
Run the Jewels are probably one of my favorite bands. They're up there.
Yeah, I like Run the Jewels. That's why I was going to go.
You'll see you there.
I'm going out to Cleveland. I'm going out to Cleveland in September to go see the Locks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're
I'm going to Toronto. I'm going to Toronto in September to see the National. So
nice.
With Peter Mansbridge?
Yes, that's what it is.
Nice.
Nobody that's not Canadian is going to get that reference. There's a show called The National, Hanif, with says a new show with Peter Mansbridge.
Oh, nice.
Not anymore.
Unrelated to what I'm doing.
Are you so as Canadians, do you guys watch The Letterkenny?
I've seen it.
I like Letterkenny, yeah.
So
I like Shorzy's better though. I think Shorzy's actually
I never
better
watched the show, but there's people on like these sites fan casting the main dude from Letterkenny to be Wolverine.
He'd be my choice right now.
He's so tall, Davin. How would you be okay with that?
Wait,
he's under 6 feet.
I thought people were saying he was like short.
Yeah, he's like 5'8" or 5'9". He's not a big dude.
Really?
Well, it's still better than
tall on that show.
6'3" Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, it's like he's like 6 inches shorter than Hugh Jackman. That's close enough, man.
And
he can play a gruff guy. He's a good actor. Like he does some good stuff in Shorzy.
I'm not gonna put the parameters.
Honestly, I'll take anybody under 6 feet at this point because
me too.
That's part of the reason why. That's one of the things about Hugh Jackman that I loved. I love his acting. I love his character, but he's too big. Him being tall as shit as Wolverine really irked.
That's a really arbitrary reason for me not to like someone's performance. So I'm not.
It's not though because it's like Andre denies how much being short is integral to the Wolverine character, which it is a huge thing. Everyone who ever says anything to Wolverine references his height. Like every villain ever makes fun of him because of his height. Like Runt.
They call him the M word.
Like it's conclusion that we're not gonna change opinion on this, Devin. So whatever happens,
I am going to change your opinion on this, Andre. Well, I'm going to send you more Wolverine comics.
If they're good at the character, why does it matter? Domino looks different in this movie than she does in the comics.
Yeah, she looks different. That's it. It doesn't change her character at all. At all.
But that's the same thing. He looks different. He looks different. He's taller. That's
except for being short is a huge part of his character.
Domino's height was never like a huge in the comics. They never they never made that.
Her skin tone had nothing to do with her character either.
Also, Wolverine looks goofy as hell, like 6'3", getting tossed by like Colossus in a fastball special.
Yeah, it all looks dumb. They have.
I mean, they did it in X3,
but he grabbed him from behind and threw him. He didn't.
Yeah, it looked stupid because he was a giant person being thrown.
No, okay.
But yeah, anyway,
I'm not even going to argue.
We'll fight about that.
I'm literally done arguing about it.
No,
we've argued about it so long.
I'll convert you. I'll convert you.
No, you won't.
You got to be open-minded.
They're going to cast a new Wolverine eventually, and he's going to be like 6 feet tall, and you're going to be really upset by it, and then you'll be.
Why does he have to be 6 feet tall?
Because there's only so many actors that are bankable in Hollywood for them to put in movies like
most Hollywood actor types are under 6 feet. Actors are generally quite short, actually. At least they were.
Tom Cruise.
Let's see what they get. We'll see who they get.
Well, with the one guy from Ocean's 11, Scott Caan. He's like 5'6".
Oh, Scott Conn. Like
he's also he's almost like 50. Like you got to find someone that's alright. Yes.
I mean, perfect. Wolverine's old.
He's a hard character to cast just because, like, if you want to keep making movies. But, I mean, they did it with Jackman. He actually looks old. But, like, only
he's
47.
They turn
the cameras on, and
Scott
he looks like
47
pretty good,
years old.
He's how old?
47 years old.
Oh, he's still got time.
No, he doesn't. He's got, like, two movies.
Start now.
2 movies in him. They'll kill him after the second one. That's fine.
That's right, yeah.
With a unkillable character. I don't know. That's going to take some writing, but they can make it happen. I don't know. Jared Keezo from Letterkenny. Let's do it.
Yeah, it'd be all right, I guess. Although he's not really like Wolverine's always kind of squat and wide, right?
Yeah. Well, he kind of is though. He's kind of.
No,
he'd have to buff up a bit.
He has like the same frame as what's Hugh Jackman. Like they're both sort of like thin, like more slender.
He'd have to buff up, but
although there's some pictures of Taron Egerton out there like getting jacked up for something, and people think it's for X-Men. But
I would think it'd be nice to have a Canadian actor play Wolverine for a change. But whatever, it doesn't really matter.
Taron Egerton's 34. How tall is he?
All the rumors are always just other Australians or British actors. It's like, are they not going to rumor like one Canadian actor for this character? Come on, but well, that would be Jared Dezo. But
I mean, hell, let's get an actual African to play Storm.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
Let's do it. I mean, technically, she was born in America, but still.
Was she?
She's American. Storm.
What's her name? The girl who played Starfire in the live-action Titans series, Anna Diop. She would be a great Storm.
So Taron Egerton, the guy that a lot of people say is in the front runner for that played Elton John in Rocket Man. Yeah. He is 5 foot 8.9 inches tall.
That's not bad. That's not bad. I'll accept that. I mean,
if you get him. Yeah. And he looks like he can play the part. You throw some sideburns on him and grow his hair.
Because you can cast tall for everybody else, and you can.
Yeah. I mean 5'8" is fairly short for a dude.
Yeah, they can cast like it's fun. Like the thing with Wolverine, you got to have like the female characters are still taller than him, and if he's 5'8", you can still cast ladies that are taller than him.
Yeah, because like I was laughing. I would laugh at when Hugh Jackman was standing next to Halle Berry, and I was like, wow. What a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Storm's supposed to tower over Wolverine.
See, the thing is, to me, is I don't even register that because I don't care. Like, I don't care about it. So, like, I never noticed that, nor did I care about it. So, if it's like something, but if it's something that's important to you, obviously, you're going to notice it. So.
Oh, wasn't Daniel Radcliffe in the running? He's 5'5".
He's going to be a version in Deadpool 3, almost certainly.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because there's in the trailer, there's a character playing Patch that kind of looks like him from behind. I think it's going to be Daniel Radcliffe playing Patch.
Wasn't Henry Cavill like rumored to be playing a version or something?
He gets rumored to play everything.
Sure does.
I'm still waiting for that Captain Britain announcement.
Yeah, I want him to just play Captain Britain. He'd
be really good at that.
Yeah. You know what? He was good as The Witcher. As much as that show went off the rails and whatnot, but he
also has bad luck with like franchises. Like he gets locked into something and then just gets tanked.
Mm-hmm. So don't let him anywhere near the X-Men.
Or they're probably going to kill him off early.
He'll get rumored to play Cyclops because he kind of looks like Cyclops.
I also heard rumors of the. Did any of you guys watch Euphoria?
No, it's been on my list, so I haven't got to it yet.
There's a guy on there. His name is Nate. I forgot the actor's name, but he has a amazing like face for Scott Summers. And I saw some people fan casting him too. So that would be interesting
to see. That's it's gonna be so interesting when they're like, as soon as they're starting to rumors, it's like, oh, X-Men cast drop's gonna be happening in the next couple weeks. I'm gonna be very excited because it was fun seeing the Fantastic Four new cast, and X-Men's gonna be even more exciting than that. All right, let's get out of here, fellas.
All right.
Goodbye.
Catch you next time.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Adios.
You gotta go home. You've been sitting here for 3 days, okay?